Well, I'm Jeremy Thompson,
I'm Courtney Thompson.
and this is our dog Zoe. We spent the past 12 to 18 months researching to buy our first RV. I retired in July of this year. I spent 37 years as a first responder. As soon as we had sold our house and we had loaded our coach, and our first day leaving out as full-timers, we had a fire.
Woke up at 7 a.m. and I was still in bed, and I looked at him and I said, "Why is the smoke detector malfunctioning?" And then he noticed the smoke coming out of the vents, and then he yelled, get out, smoke, smoke." And so adrenaline kicked in, and I grabbed the dog and literally ran out the coach in my nightgown.
While the fire started in the engine bay of the coach, the entire coach ended up being affected all the way up to the privacy curtain on our front windshield glass being melted off. While my first responder instincts got us out of the coach, as soon as we were outside, I wasn't a first responder anymore. I was a husband watching a fire like anybody else, with absolutely no control and no ability to do anything about it. And that is a feeling of helplessness that I wouldn't wish on anybody. That's the worst feeling I've ever had.
RV fires are more common than one would think. I think one of the things that most RVers would have in common when they think about an RV fire is that they never think that it's going to happen to them. When you look on the internet, you're going to see some statistics. Some will say 20,000 RV related fires a year. Some will say 4,500 RV fires. One thing that we know is that there are reported fires and there's unreported fires. And so what we came to understand was that whether it's 20,000 RV related fires or one RV related fire, one is just too many.
It's one of those things where we thought we had done everything right. We had had our coach professionally inspected before we bought it. We had used it on a handful of weekend trips before we had headed out on this first night of full-time life. And we had even shut everything off 8 hours before the fire happened. The engine had been off for 8 hours. The generator was not being used. The inverters were off. Nothing was activated that would lead us to understand what caused the fire. And to this day, we still don't know. The insurance company hasn't shared any information with us.
I'm like, are you kidding me? What are we doing? We sold our house. We are now essentially homeless.
It took us some time to really decide how strongly we feel about the lifestyle. So I think there was some soul searching going on. But I will say, I think the one conclusion we came to with absolute certainty is there is no way that we're willing to continue as RVers without a fire suppression system in our coach.
Yep.
That was a deal breaker.
So THIA by Proteng is a fire suppression system made for the entire coach. So many of you have probably heard about an engine fire suppression system, and that's great for your engine, but it usually is just for your engine. Whereas Proteng is a system that is made for the entire coach. We can place a tube in various sizes throughout the entire coach. So whether we're covering an engine or whether we're covering an inverter or a generator, we can have a tube this big or a tube that's as long as 21 feet wrapping an engine. So we can catch a fire right at the source of where a fire might start. What happens in the tube is there's a liquid in there, chemical called FM200, and when it heats up, it'll heat up to about 100 degrees, and then it turns from liquid into a gas. It'll build up pressure inside that tube, and it will have to escape. It builds up so much pressure. It'll escape at the hottest point, which is the hottest point of where the heat is coming from or the fire is coming from, and it will put that fire out. It'll take all the heat out of that compartment. And where there is no heat, there is no fire. Our hope to all those that are out there that are enjoying the RV lifestyle is that they will consider protecting their coaches with Proteng so that they can sleep with peace of mind, that they can protect their coach with Proteng, and that they can live the RV lifestyle to the fullest. And that's our very wish for the Thompsons as they continue their full-time journey in their new RV.
We are so grateful that we learned about Proteng and were able to make contact and build a relationship with them. They have been amazing.